Welcome to Bullet Sorting 101. We have a couple of packets of Nosler 22 caliber 80 grains. We use these for F-class shooting. One of the things we've found is that sorting the projectiles by length and weight really does improve the results. In order to get decent sized batches, so you've got a large lot of the same size and weight projectile, it's better to actually sort multiple boxes at once. So here we have two. Now the first thing we've got to do, well, of course, is open them up. Now, after production, before they're bagged up, you'll find that the projectiles are often tumbled in sand or some other fine media. So one of the first things you have to do when you get it is to actually try and clean them, make sure they're all clean, because clean projectiles is important for the sorting process. So I get some paper towel. Lay it out. And tip the projectiles out onto that. These ones don't look too bad, but you can, don't know if you can see it, but there is actually some grit. Oh, there's some grit and rubbish that's come out of the projectiles. Spread it out. And then put them back into the... I'll turn the bags inside out, because the outside was clean, the inside may still have rubbish. And I'll put the projectiles back in. So now I have two bags of slightly cleaner projectiles, and a large amount of the dirt and grit that they were tumbled in is now on the paper towels, and we're going to throw that out. The reason we want to get rid of that is that it hangs up in the comparator later on and causes inaccurate readings. It's amazing how small a piece of grit can make a big change to the measured length of the projectile. To do our actual measurements, we have a Sinclair bullet sorting stand. Comes with a dial gauge and the comparator, and these are the comparators to get. Don't use the nut one, they just don't work as well. So what we want to do, the other things we need is, I use a couple of cups. I've used these projectiles before and batched them, and I know that they'll generally batch into two batches, so I have a greater than and less than set. Ignore the numbers on them, but I tend to batch them for whether they're long or short. The other things we want are some cotton buds and some tissues, because the first thing we need to do is clean down the surface. So make sure that's nice and clean. Need to clean the comparator, because any grit will cause a problem. So cotton bud, get in there, give it a good clean, top and bottom. And then we're ready to go. And this is roughly set up for use before, so just drop that in, check where it's at. Now, I'm not going to declare that as ready to go just yet, because what I want to do is see if I get some consistency in the measurements. They're all coming out at about the same. See, the dial may have bumped since it was last set up, and I think that's the case. So what I'll do is those four have all batched the same. So I'm going to set that as the plus, the greater than. So I'll put it there. We'll just see how we go. You'll tend to find that you'll have to readjust it later. So I'm going to pop one of those off to the side. We can't see that. Okay, I'll pop the other two in there and I'll get going. The first one I get that's dramatically different length is going to cause me an issue because I'll have to readjust, but we'll see. That one's okay. These are proving to be very consistent so far. There's only a couple of thou there between all the ones I've done. With these projectiles I have actually batched 3 boxes before and not got one that was out, but then I have batched other boxes and found dramatic variations, including some that I just completely discarded and they didn't fit into either acceptable batch. Generally though, when I get a big jump in this, it will be because it needs cleaning. With paint, you just clean the comparator again and the surface. Oh, that one's dramatically different. So what I want to do, take that out. Now the first one that I did, still there, put that in and it's reading where it should read. So I know that this one is definitely longer. So it's now a case of saying, well, okay, so maybe there was a bit of something on the surface because it's come back reading good. So that one's okay. If that hadn't come good on its own, I would have cleaned the whole setup. It's going to be a very boring sorting video if I don't get any variations. Mind you, there's people that would say sorting doesn't do anything, but I've done blind tests with it, where I've gone from sorting to not sorting and not telling the shooters that are using the ammunition that I've stopped sorting, and then they start complaining because their scores are dropping. So it does actually work. Probably adds, if you've got consistent projectiles, of course you don't need it, but how do you know you've got consistent projectiles unless you actually check them? Bump that going in. So that was alright. Yeah, sometimes if they don't sit in straight, you need to sort of wobble it around and get them to settle. You don't want to push them in because the hole is fine, that you will actually jam it in there. Give yourself a false reading. But just looking at this so far, I think those there have lifted their game a little. They're one of the cheaper projectiles, but we get reasonable results with them. I usually get a lot more sand and grit in the packets than I did with this batch. In the early batches, even though they were dirty, tended to be quite accurate. So that one, not sure about. So I'll pop my original back in. It's still good. So, only talking 2 thou. I think 2 thou is good enough. It's the funny thing, when they start being really consistent, you balk at the smaller variations, when really so far these ones we haven't had 3 thou between them. I have heard people saying they batch to 5 and 10 thou, and anything less is unnecessary. I've never seen projectiles with that degree of variation, so maybe that's something outside of the 22s. Well, there we go. Look at that. Put that back in. That's still reading good. Oh, and that's come good again. So maybe there was a bit of rubbish. So what I'm going to do is give that a little wipe down. Good. Okay, I'm actually going to lay down some paper towel and tip these out again. Hopefully this will get them to drop a little more dirt that seems to be on them. So I can see some dirt dropping off onto the towel already. This is really clean. Okay, so I'm actually going to tear off a bit of tissue and pull it through. I want that very clean. Let's just double check. Back where we're supposed to be. Well, given how consistent these are, I think I might start splitting them, because it won't matter too much. So what I will do is turn it around and put these ones, because there's a few that are just, I suppose I've got my greater thans and less thans messed up, but well, at this point, the tub's full, the cup's full, so we need to empty it. Now these ones are actually short ones, these ones are the long ones. So what I've got is length sorted, short. They're in the short range, not they're for short range shooting. So And I'll just tip, I won't tip all of them. Just create a bit of room. Pop that into the box. There we go. Short ones and continue on. I've only got a few left. There you go, that's back where it should be. Now we'll see what this one reads. So, reads good. And there we go, we're all done. It's taken 50 minutes to do those. So that's 500 projectiles. At this point I'll put them into their various boxes. And that's it, it's done. They're sorted. Tomorrow, if there's nothing good on TV, we'll weight sort the larger batch. Only weight sort one batch at a time because I have boxes with the different weights on them, and I don't want to have to juggle boxes of different lengths and different weights. At the same time, it just gets too tricky. When this batch gets down, then I'll open up the next batch and weight sort those, but we'll cover that